Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome from Infotech Enterprises Limited. And it takes me, I would like to take this opportunity to give you a presentation on how we are delivering the Urban Property Ownership Records project to the government of Karnataka in a PPP model. This presentation is divided into basically 3 stages. I would take 2-3 minutes to run you through what is Infotech all about, and then introducing you to our project, which is currently being executed and implemented for the government of Karnataka. And then finally, we would like to discuss on what are all the benefits that the government of Karnataka through this project is accruing. Infotech Enterprises Limited is currently running in its 21st year. Last financial year, we had attained an annual revenue of $324 million, which is close to 1553.15 crores in INR. We have 200 plus customers across the globe, out of which 22 are Fortune 500 customers. Most of our business is a repeat business. We are basically into geospatial and engineering services for the last 21 years of our services. If you can see, there is a word called values first. This is our keyword which runs across the organization, as well as our relationship with the customers is also based on these 5 words: fairness, integrity, respect, sincerity, and trust. These are our 5 values which we place first before we get into the interaction either with the customer or project implementation or even the relationship amongst our employees within the organization. This picture gives us a glimpse of our global footprint, 10,000 plus geospatial and other engineers working from 35 global locations. You see, there are 2 different kinds of locations marked on this world map. One is the red, another one is the green. All the red centers are the global delivery centers. It is not that we do only offshore projects, we do on-site also. And in the on-site projects, specifically in American continent and Australia, New Zealand, or even in the Europe, at least 80% of the employees engaged in any such project being done for that particular zone or geography, they are from that place only. So out of 100% employee base in that particular geo, we have only 20% Indians working over there, and the rest are the local people. And the green places, these are basically our sales office and the relationship management offices. What we do, we are into product engineering, process engineering. We work in the utilities and the telecom sector, as well as in the content management sector. In the content is nothing but the creation of the geospatial database for various uses. Under the geospatial services that we offer under the content engineering SBU is the spatial data services, photogrammetry and remote sensing, which is our core area of expertise, and then the geological management services. Then comes the content management services with the geospatial and non-geospatial databases. And finally, we have a expertise around software development services also. Out of some marquee customers across the globe, we would like to mention on the right hand side, you see TomTom, Airtel, Pratt & Whitney, Bombardier, British Telecom, Boeing, Philips, Invensys. Another outcome of the values first is we had had been working with most of our customers across the globe, not only on a single project specific. We are working with them over the years. See, with TomTom, 19 years of association. Airtel, Bharti Airtel, 14 years. Pratt & Whitney, 12 years. Bombardier, 9 years. British Telecom, 9 years. Boeing, 9 years. 8 years. So what we do with these big companies across the globe is, we are into aerospace engineering. We design the engines for the Boeing aircrafts. TomTom is a database, a navigational database, which was earlier called TeleAtlas. You must be using the smartphones with the navigation applications into it. Whatever you are seeing on the Nokia phones are the data made by Infotech across the globe. We not only create the data, but we manage, we store, and we update on a continuous year-on-year basis for them. Now, coming to what is Urban Property Ownership Records project, which has been delivered to Government of Karnataka. I would like to take a cue from what Mr. Sharma had retorted this morning, that it is not only the policy building, it is not only visioning a particular project, a scheme, the problem is also at the implementation level. This particular project which we are going to run you through has been a success story for Infotech as well as Government of Karnataka in a successful implementation and service delivery channel. What is the urban properties? The objective of this UPR engagement is like this. Government of Karnataka, through their revenue department, they usually maintain the land record information either in the textual form as well as in the geospatial form, which is called the cadastral maps of both the rural and the urban areas. In the urban areas, there are the city survey offices which usually they created the data long time back, but there was no updation. These records were preserved in paper format. Naturally, this had first of all the problem of they are not matching the ground reality currently. Number two, because these were made and preserved in paper, so there is a problem of storage and archival. So to do away with all these problems, they thought of implementing an IT and GIS solution first through a modern survey system to get a new spatial record which is practicable right at this moment on the ground, creating a database, creating the non-spatial database also, integrating with the spatial and the non-spatial one, thus finalizing the database for the urban property ownership records as on today's date. Now, through implementation of this project in an IT mode, what happens is, the benefit is, it's very easy to retrieve, it's very easy to achieve, it's very easy to update and maintain the data. It also creates an initial platform for e-governance in the system, for giving citizen services at a cost. What was the engagement model? Infotech was selected as a technical service provider to develop the UPR solution, and then as well as service provider for creating of the digital PR cards, and approximately for 80,000 properties in the town of Shimoga and 1.75 lakh properties in the town of Mangalore. Now in the first phase, 5 towns were taken up. Other than these two, Shimoga and Mangalore, was Mysore, Hubli, Dharwad and Bellary. These 3 other towns have gone to 2 other different agencies for creation of the data, but these 5 towns and the next 10 towns, for all these 15 towns, whatever UPO or application has been developed by Infotech will be implemented. What was the scope of the work? First, to develop a single interface UPO or web application. This particular web application was used for creation of the data, updation of the data, maintenance of the data, as well as providing citizen services on the digital property cards. It's a single interface online which has been already inaugurated and active on the internet. Then, as a part of the scope of the work, we did build the data center as well as the data recovery center for all these 10 towns. How we did the mapping of all those properties? Government of Karnataka had evaluated all the possible modern methods of mapping as per the NLRMP guidelines, but finally they have decided to get an accurate, precise urban property records measurements. It's best to follow the pure ground survey method using total station and DGPS. DGPS is Differential Geographical Positioning System. So we had created a very highly accurate and precise digital property ownership records with a spatial information of positional accuracy of plus or minus 10 centimeters. This plus or minus 10 centimeter positional accuracy is achievable only if the survey and the measurement is done through a pure ground survey. There are other modern methods of surveying like flying an aircraft, taking the photographs, doing the photogrammetric photo processing, and then taking the 3D, doing the 3D extraction of the spatial information. But this is very costly. To fly to get a plus minus 10 centimeter accuracy, once again, the agency has to fly at a height of 2,000 feet above the ground, and this needs special permission from the Ministry of Defense to do it, and there are restrictions of flying over different strategic locations, and hence, so to keep all these problems aside, you must be aware that nowadays mapping is also done through satellite imageries. But satellite imageries, some satellites taking photographs of our geos some 850 to 900 kilometers away from the Earth's surface. So the clarity of those images, the resolution of those images are not that very high to give us a very highly accurate maps prepared from the satellite imageries. And then we did we helped the department in ascertaining the status of the ownership through a title inquiry process. You must be aware that land is a state subject and the ownership can only be established by a government officer. This government official in the land reforms departments, the land revenue departments, they are guided by specific set of laws, rules and acts. So, we being a private agency, we did the mapping, collected the information on the properties we had given to the government to finalize and decide who is actually the title owner of that particular parcel or piece of land. And then, as a part of our scope of the work, we did a service delivery. We had built the service delivery centers in each of the cities, and then we had started giving off the services to the citizens. This particular database has been built for the government, built by the government for the people. For the people, I stay in one city where the data has been digitized, my land parcel information has been digitized. I can go to the website, view the spatial and non-spatial information that has been collected by the agencies, authenticated by the government online, and then decide if I have any objection on the decision given by the government. If I do have an objection, I can online register my objection, and government has to within 29 days take up that application and then do a satisfactory inquiry or whatever as per the existing rules and clauses of the Act, and then finalize my property ownership records, based on which the card will be finalized and pushed to the system till there is any further mutation or change spatially, to my knowledge, also accepted by me. The salient features of the engagement was, now, implementation of very big turnkey projects in India, one concept has come: public-private partnership. This was the first e-governance initiative for the management of the urban property ownership records, which is providing G2C, government to citizen, government to government, that is interdepartmental transfer of information, and G2B, government to business services, in a PPP model with a revenue sharing between TSP, the technical service provider, who has built the application, SP, the service provider, who has built the data, and government. There was no milestones of payment with milestones of delivery, upfront investment by the executioner, which is Infotip, to build and deliver the application and data, recovery through sale of the digital property ownership cards in my 6 years of delivery, and other services based on the property information. After 6 years of my service scope is over, that is 1 year of the data creation plus 6 years of service, total 7 years, I would transfer all these assets and the data built in this particular engagement to the government. From 8th year onwards, government would run this show all by themselves. We are expecting, hoping that by this time government would develop, I mean to say that should have the personnel equipped and adopted to take up this assignment. The project period, 280 days of application development, data creation and implementation, and then followed by 6 years of service and maintenance. Now, this particular thing is a very technical thing. How we build the application, it's based on Microsoft.NET architecture and the spatial information, the spatial engine which is working behind to show the map data on the website through this application is the AutoCAD Map Guide, which is an Autodesk product. It's an XML web service, a mobile service also. It has been envisaged by Government of Karnataka that if somebody is using a smartphone, using the UPR application, one can view the status of his property in any of these 15 cities on their smartphone. They can view it online, they can view the property details, they can view the spatial records, they can also, through that application, register an objection if there is certainly a difference between his understanding and whatever government has put in to the database. As a robust RDBMS Oracle 10G, I have already told you that the primary site, which is the data center, and the secondary site, which is the recovery center, has been parallelly functioning since day one of our application started. Integration with other line department systems, I will discuss to you how the integration is working and which are all the departments taking help from this base data. This is a basic solution architecture. I just don't want to get into the details. This is a snapshot of this application which is live right now. This is a JPEG image. I would like to take you. This is currently I'm accessing internet and then showing it. The address is http://upor.karnataka.gov.in. Any person sitting in this auditorium, if you wish to check it, you can check online. You can please take the address. Later on, you can check it and see what is the objective, why it has been implemented, how it has been implemented, everything has been given. On the left hand side, if you see, there are three links. Public users register. Anybody might ask a question that land is a very sensitive issue. Any person holding a land in any area, government has digitized that property ownership information and giving this information on a public domain. Is it right or not? No. Anybody can view without distorting the data online, but all the property owners within the city periphery, city administrative jurisdiction, which we had been working, biometrics information has been collected from all the property owners. Using that biometric information, only the actual owner of the property can access and seek any change to the government. For others, like I have a property in one of the cities, and there is my neighbor. It is not mandatory that I will only see that one. My neighbor can also see it and register an objection, because I can trip into his property also. Or he might feel that whatever the property boundary has been demarcated, that is not right for me. Actually, some of portions from his side is also been encroached. So that person is also need to know the status of his adjacent property. So you see the list of the draft PR cards and the property search. Clicking on the list of the draft PR cards, you will arrive something like this. You have to select which city you want to see the data, and then which town, which ward. After you select all those things and get records, you click on the get records button, you get a list. This list is generated in the local language. On the right hand side, you see there is a link view PR card. So once you click on it, then you get a list of the cards which are available, and then you get to see this draft PR card, which is 7 or 8 pages long. Each and every page has been authenticated by the government department, and each page has got separate information. It is not only the ownership information, the UPR number owner, and then the section A property section, the shared plot details, the ownership section, the lease details, if there is any lease on the property also. Then the securities section is also there, if it is mortgaged. And then the burden section, if there is a loan, if there is a mortgage, if there is any encumbrance, everything will come out over here. And finally, on the last page, you see the spatial information of the plot itself with the coordinates and the northings, and then the locality within that area. The red hatched plot is that particular plot which we are talking about right now, with the roads, the name of the roads, and the other adjacent neighborhood plots. You get them at least a notional idea where my property is located. And clicking on this property search, the geospatial engine of the application helps us to retrieve the map data of that particular area of the city. You see, this particular interface has got the geospatial tools on the upper left corner of this application window, and there are some search options on the right hand side also. So using these simple tools, we get to know who is the property owner, what is the length, breadth, dimension of the property, what is the area of my property, where it is lying, and so on and so forth. Looking at all these things, if I want to raise an objection can always be raised online through this particular interface. Online, people can submit an application of objection and tell the government that I am not satisfied on this grounds. You please take a corrective measure. So once again, back to the presentation. So I have already discussed and showed you online what is this application. The functionalities is data entry for the non-spatial in the same application. Once we create the data and there is a need for any further mutation or conversion or any merging, we use the vectorization digitization tool. There is a GIS module to view the maps. There is a management module for the government or on the geospatial records. there's a payment gateway integration. Now, while talking of the service delivery, I have told that I will be recovering my revenues, my investment through sale of the digital property cards. Government of Karnataka has decided what will be the price of each property card. So each property card, according to government, will cost somewhere around 400 rupees, and out of that 400 rupees there will be a share going to the service provider for creating the data, for the technical service provider for building the application, and the remaining 15% would go to the government exchequer. This 15% going to the government exchequer will in turn help government and the department to build this system, to build the self-sustainability into the system. So there is a payment gateway. I need to go to the kiosk and say, or my service center, that I need a printout of my property card. I tell them this is my property number, details. I also show my biometric information that is matching. Then automatically a printout of that 7-page property card will come out. At a cost of 400 rupees, I will transact that. This money through a payment gateway will automatically get distributed into the 3 accounts. So biometric device I have already discussed. There is a remote management of DMS every day at the end of the service delivery. Then performance monitoring, the MIS report modules for government to manage this system, and then the reconciliation of the accounts also. What is the non-spatial and the spatial data maintenance, which I am not able to show you online because all these things are back-end works for us to do. I just wanted to show you the snapshots of the screens that basically we are using for in the application development side, how we are doing it, what we are doing. We are doing all the data entry records of the property information. We have created the survey records data in a digital format. That digital data converted into a GIS format is being called over here, and there is an integration of the non-spatial information and the spatial information in the single platform through this GIS. And then if I want to do any mutation, any merging of the 2 subplots, I can do online through this same application. This is the non-spatial data entry application. This we had already seen the non-spatial, that these are the snapshots from the application itself. Now how we did the data creation. I told you that it's the survey, pure ground survey, that has been decided and adopted for creation of this data. So first we did a ground control network of our area of interest with DGPS, then preparing the index map of the city for reference for doing the detailed survey. We collected the property information and measurements with the help of the ETS, and then finalizing the PR cards. There was a huge and a lengthy process of propaganda through media by us as well as the government. If we do not do this propaganda, then probably the people would not be aware of that some measurement is going on for this particular purpose, and they would not be available during the course of the survey. Because I need the information also, I would have to take the photocopies of all the legal information that property owner is holding to substantiate whether he has purchased that property from somebody or he has inherited that one from his ancestors. So finally, the generation of the detailed PR cards, preparation of the GIS base map, are very large scale one, and establishment of the service centers. Now, I have already told you what are all the information this PR card is having: the area and the coordinates, the rights on the property, what is the built up area, what are the encumbrance details, what is the history of transaction, as well as the property tax payment details, which comes from the municipal khata records. This is a snapshot of a service delivery center which has been installed in Shimoga district, Shimoga city. This is how it looks like, and the service delivery is given. Now the line departments would take advantage of this UPOS system. All the ULBs, urban local bodies, authenticated digital property cards will be the base for the collection of the property taxes, issue of notices to the property tax defaulters, sanction of building plan permission, etc. If there is any if there is any litigation going on a particular property, any of the revenue or the civil courts of law, the authentic information certified and issued by the UPR department would be accepted as the authenticated revenue records for that particular land parcel, and the dispute will be adjudged based on that information. The banks, while giving loans on the properties, any mortgage, any project financing, everything will be based on the UPOR records. The development authorities and the housing boards, the large-scale GIS maps of the cities will help in proper development planning within the cities, construction, maintenance, etc. Now, there are certain challenges in any kind of implementation, and we have certainly successfully overcome. There was a lack of coordination between the various stakeholders on the government side in the initial stages of the implementation, and then garnering public support. It was not that we reached the houses for the first time, got the information. No, we had to go there 3-4 times. Project team building, not a single company firm going to some other place to implement, to execute a project. We don't carry my resources from my corporate house to that particular area. I need to build a local project staff also, and sometimes it's very challenging to find out properly skilled people in the locale. And then document collection from the various departments. Suppose in any city area, not only the individuals but also government departments, they hold properties. And we have found that most of the government departments mostly they do not have those documents with them in support of their claim that I own that property. And the preserving and maintenance of this documentation, cooperation from other departments for integration. Some of the successful steps taken up by GOK for successful implementation is they have made it legally mandated that UPOR certificate is the only valid and authenticated urban property ownership document. Each and every citizen who is holding a property in that particular city has to purchase the first-time property card. This will be treated as the authenticated property information in the city areas. Now, for that matter, the registration department registering a sale or purchase on the urban property, they have also made it mandatory to have the UPOR card produced during the sale. One person purchases that property. After this property gets mutated in his name, this new person who is the purchaser has to purchase a new property card in his name also. So the benefits are just so many: automation, citizen services, transparency, interdepartmental transfer, and self-sustainability. These are some of the newscastings that have come for the successful implementation, and I now finish my presentation and would request the audience, if you would like to post any question to me, I'll be very happy to answer. Yes, please. Yes, already asked a question. Let's let you show. Yeah, please.
We have many floors in a property.
Yeah.
Same thing must be there in Karnataka.
Yes.
And there are property rights for every regional floor now.
Yeah.
Have we mapped out that also?
Yes, because Bangalore is a very well-developed city. Shimoga is also having this one. Mysore is also having this one. So government has already laid down the principles how a multi-storied property would be.
So if there is no other question, then thank you very much for your patience and kind hearing.